What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Game Day with Trey. This your host Trey. That's my homeboy Face, and
What
we
up,
just,
bro?
yeah, man, and we coming at you guys, giving your first ever NFL preview of the year, man. And I know I'm excited. Are you excited, Face?
You already know. This is my
Man,
time of the year.
I've been looking forward to football for the last 4 or 5 months. Like it's like an itch that comes up, man. Whenever there's no, like, when basketball season ends and you go to the dead time where it's only baseball. Not nothing against baseball and all that stuff there, but man, ain't nothing like no football. Ain't nothing like no
Baseball,
football.
baseball only fun when you playing.
Exactly. That part, man.
Yeah.
So tonight we're gonna go ahead and give you guys the preview to the NFL Hall of Fame game, Jets versus the Browns in Canton, Ohio. Now, I just came back. No, didn't just come back. A few months ago, I came back. I actually went to the Hall of Fame, all right, and toured the Hall of Fame. And I'll probably share some of those pictures and things like that with you guys throughout the feed or whatever like that. But listen, if you have never been to Canton, Ohio, and learn the history of the NFL, now I consider myself an NFL aficionado, so I knew a lot of the history already. But at the same time, to be able to go to the spot and walk through the halls, man, my wife had to pull me out of there, man. Like, to be honest with you, it was a great experience, and I recommend anybody and everybody go do it. Yeah, all right. That was something I got to check off my bucket list. But let's get back to this preview, you guys. All right, so we got the Jets versus the Browns. Okay, money line is we'll give you the Jets plus 115, Browns minus 135. Now, if you're looking for the odds, then you're gonna get the Browns minus 2.5. Over under is 31.5. Kickoff is tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And just so you know, Kevin Stefanski, he won the first 4 preseason games he ever coached. All right, now he's lost the last 2, but he won the first 4 he ever coached. And if you look at Robert Saleh, man, he undefeated. He 5-0-1. So you kind of, if you're going to bet on this game, these are the types of things that you got to take in and understand. Now, I know that both these coaches are working with young teams, and they are in the midst of trying to build up the momentum to, if you're talking about the Jets, be a Super Bowl team. And if you're talking about the Browns, be a viable playoff team in one of the toughest divisions in all of football in that AFC North. So, Face, let me ask you, man, when you're watching a preseason game, okay, especially when you have something like what's going on right now with the Jets, and they brought in Aaron Rodgers, just kind of like how the Bucks brought in Tom Brady, all right, and you want to see what's going on behind him, and then you're looking at a team like the Browns, which, by the way, neither team is going to play their starters too much. If they might play them a little bit, but you ain't really going to see them like that. But when you talk about the Browns, you're talking about a team that's got a lot of depth. Okay, all right, throughout that roster, man. But Face, what do you look for in the preseason when you watching the team?
Basically, that's what you're looking for. You're trying to see the depth of the team because most of the time you got backup players playing, so you want to know who's going to come in and step in for your starters if anything ever happens. Because for one, that's just like the quarterback situation. Zach, he already started a few years, 2, 3 years in the league. Now they're gonna want to see how he responds to
Yeah,
see if he rests as a quarterback. And these are the moments where you get to do that, and it's better than practice. Because see, practice sometimes don't tell you the whole story. You need to see him going against other guys to see how he responds. And I guess this is where you find that at. You know what I mean? Sometimes you find talent that you didn't even know you had on your team throughout the preseason. So some of these dudes is fight for spots, and you get some good gold and hidden treasures throughout the preseason for real.
yeah, for
So
real,
this is
man.
what your depth chart, who's gonna go behind the ones or twos. You might even get to the third string. So this is what to use the preseason for to evaluate your talent.
And see, what you just said is key for me, anyway. All right. The whole aspect of understanding who's going to be that second string, who's going to be that third string. For me, that's key. All right, because injuries are going to happen. This is the NFL, and NFL stands for not for long. Okay, so that means that you are liable to get hurt anytime throughout the year. You can lose your quarterback. Matter of fact, last year, okay, quick stat for you guys. There's only 32 teams in the NFL, but last year, 64 different quarterbacks started at quarterback. All right, like that's a
And that
stat
means
for
every
you, man.
team switch quarterback at one point
Exactly.
in time.
At one point in time, that means for one reason or another, that we ain't talking about going and kneeling down at the end of the game. No, we're talking about starting an
Oh, they
actual
started these
game.
games.
All
Yeah.
right. So at the end of the day, when you're watching a preseason game, or at least when I'm watching a preseason game, I am paying close attention because to me, these are the guys that are going to hold my team up and bandage us up when it comes time to make that Super Bowl run. Because, like I said, people get hurt. All right. And that's why tonight, man, I really want to see what Zach Wilson does. Okay. Now, I got to see some growth, okay, from the young man because he has had some starting experience. He has lit up a few of the highlights. All right, so he has shown the ability to play quarterback in the NFL. He's got a live arm, but at the end of the day, man, his practice habits have not been sufficient to remain the quarterback of the Jets. And then when you look at that offensive line that they got over for the Jets right now, like I want to see the continuity. I got to see Mekhi Becton at 350 pounds is looking like what he looked like in college. All right, not look what he's looked like since he's been in the NFL. I need to see him looking like what he looked like in college. All right, and then when you're looking at Joe Tippmann, the center they drafted out of Wisconsin, he's been third and second string center. Now I honestly believe he's going to end up beating out the center that they got, but I need to see him in live action with bullets going flying. I can understand why you wouldn't make a decision on the offensive line when no pads have really been put on and you haven't had contact. You really don't have true film. All you've been is practicing beating each other up. But yeah, those are the major things that I want to see and that I need to look at when I'm looking at the Jets. When I'm looking at the Browns, man, it's DTR versus Kellen Mond. Now, I've been watching Kellen Mond since he was at Texas A&M in college, and I liked the young man when he was coming out of Texas A&M. But at the end of the day, he never panned out at Minnesota when they drafted him. And I wanted him down here in Tampa. I would rather have gotten him than Kyle Trash. Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle Trask. I shouldn't call him Trash because he might actually end up being a starter for the Bucks the way it's looking like right now. But anyway, I digress, man. So right now, when you're looking at Kellen Mond versus DTR, DTR was a beast at UCLA. That boy was kind of elusive. All right, he's got a strong arm, but at the end of the day, man, it's about how much he's digested from this Kevin Stefanski offense. Because at the end of the day, man, they're looking for a quality backup for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's had 2 ACL surgeries, so he's been hurt before. And that offensive line is okay. It ain't been like it was since Joe Thomas. You know what I mean? But what say you, Face?
Hey, I want to just wanted to touch back on the center for the Jets. When he was in the game, he did play at a high level. He just he, he's one of those players that can't seem to do what we say we always need. A player that's going to be available. We
Yep.
need the availability. He's been injury prone since he's been in the league, so that's what stopped his progression and him being a starter. Because they said when he plays at a high level. So
Hmm.
they never said he couldn't play. They just saying that he's injury prone. So if he could stay healthy, they saying that he might be the next Nick Mango for the Jets. Now I don't know if he can fill those shoes, but they did say he had that type of talent. They just got to keep him healthy. So I think he just need to work on his off-season regimen. I guess he should change some things and try to work on staying healthy. And he might, end up being a hell of a
Well,
center.
yeah, a great center. Joe Tippmann definitely has an opportunity to become one of the best centers. When I had studied him coming out the draft, right, I wanted the Bucks to pick him. I'm not gonna lie, even though we got Ryan Jensen. Okay, and the reason I wanted the Bucks to pick him is because of the fact I know we need to move towards the future, and what we did last year wasn't. But we ain't even gonna talk about that, right? So the Jets
We
don't want to end up in that
we
situation.
get too many candidates too. Just
And the Jets, so the Jets
sometimes.
don't want to end up in that situation. That's why they went ahead and spent that draft pick on Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin. Now, I honestly believe the young man, from what I've watched, he a beast. He just like everything you see out of Wisconsin. I have never seen a bad offensive lineman come out of Wisconsin. So if he was to be the first one, then I'd be surprised. You know what I mean? But
I
well,
just think if he stay on the field, then I think that's all they need him to do. They just need him to be out there, and then every team. If you look at all the elite teams in the league right now, all they all of them have centers that's worth something.
yeah,
Every the Eagles, Kansas City, every team is worth something. They offensive line is worth something. They got a center. They have to
mm,
have that anchor man. You know what I'm saying? The center,
yeah.
he called the plays, he called out everything. So you
Without
need
the center,
a
hey,
wide receiver.
without the center, you can't eat dinner, man. Without the
Right.
center, you can't eat dinner, dog. Ain't nobody eating without that center, dog. Real talk, brother. Real talk. So, Faith, I got another question for you, man. Because I'm looking at these wide receivers that the Cleveland Browns got, and they just traded with the Jets for Elijah Moore in the offseason. Now, when I'm looking and when I've been watching, okay, the film that I've been watching and catching up on all the things that's going on around the league and the training camps, I keep hearing Elijah Moore's name buzz, man. Now, the Jets traded him because Elijah Moore kind of got salty when Garrett Wilson started getting all the shine. Elijah Moore always had problems with being injured and this and that and the third. But if he's already Deshaun Watson's number one target, you think he's going to even play tonight? I mean, I'd like to see him because I want to see how he looks in the Browns uniform. I want to see if he's running better routes, if his hands better. I want to see all that type of stuff. But
I'm pretty sure the receivers they're gonna play uh, a few,
few snaps.
yeah, a few snaps, a few series, but I don't think you're gonna see that much of them. Especially now that they're gonna be the starters. But you want to give your quarterback who's not going to be a starter the chance to throw to these number ones just to see. Because you don't want to send these quarterbacks out there in a losing situation and expect them to shine. You see what I'm saying? You got to get these guys the same receivers you're going to give your number ones just to see how they do. It might be a series or two,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he needs to have the starters out there on receiver for because it's only way you really get hurt is in a preseason game like this. If it's
Yep.
if it's you know what I mean? They ain't
Yes,
trying to hit
sir.
receivers like this. You know what I'm saying? These guys are second and third string defenders, so you should be able to navigate through these guys without getting injured. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Man, another key battle I'm paying attention to because in the preseason, these are the people who really matter. And right now, the NFL has been disparaging this position. It has been attacking this position as if this position is not vital to winning a Super Bowl. Let me tell you something. For all y'all out here listening, man, the running back is important. Okay? If you can't run the ball, you are not going to win a Super Bowl. Period. Okay? The reason that the Kansas City Chiefs were able to run the ball so well last year is because Isaiah Pacheco, who I already knew was going to be a beast. Okay, let's just be clear about that. I called that Isaiah Pacheco was going to be a beast. Okay? But Isaiah Pacheco is a beast. Okay, he's not a slug. Now, yeah, they got him late and this and that and the third, but that doesn't happen all the time, man. Okay, you can't always get a running back late, and so in a preseason game, I am paying close attention to the running backs because first off, I want to see who might get cut. I might be able to pick them up, get them over here to Tampa. Yeah, so I'm saying, and I'm also paying attention because the running game is vital at the end of the season. The running game can protect a young quarterback, a la Daniel Jones. Okay, the running game can protect a bum quarterback, a la Ryan Tannehill. Okay, like a running back can make up for a plethora of mistakes. Even if you look at great quarterbacks, look at Drew Brees' last few years with the Saints. Alvin Kamara
Look
was
at
protecting that man.
just look at Tom Brady. Just look at Tom Brady when he threw to James White 10 times in a row. 10
Yep.
consecutive plays, he threw it and gave it to James White. So you need somebody in the backfield. They just they feel like that because the league is so driven toward the passing game now. So now they want to discredit the running back, but you can't discredit the running back because you have to have somebody to run the ball in order for you to be able to pass the ball. If
And
you don't
who's the
have that,
last? And who is the last line of defense to block for that quarterback? Okay, it's the running back, man. It's the running back. Okay, it's not anybody else. It's the running back. Running back is going to touch the
it's
ball
just the
the
way the
second most
NFL.
times on the team. It's going to be the center and the quarterback. They're going to be tied. And then after the center and the quarterback, then it's the running back.
You got to think about it. It's like this. Now the game is so geared towards the passing. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't do this. You can't target the receiver, but this way or this way. So now it's so much. They focus so much on the receiver because they're trying to discredit the running back. But that's just like in the NBA. That's why you got all these dudes want to shoot 3-pointers because the game is so geared towards shooters. Now everybody want to shoot the ball.
Yep.
But at the same time, the running back position is so important in the NFL to the point where I don't even understand how these people are trying to make it seem like a running back ain't important. They might not last as long as other positions, so that's probably why they don't want to put their money into these running backs like that. But a good running back can change the whole thing.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If the Jets go out and invest their money in Dalvin Cook, okay, that'll be the best investment that they will have made. Dalvin Cook has already ran that same system and that same style. Dalvin Cook can pass block, he can catch, and he can run. All right, like you were
Yeah,
talking about, yeah, you were talking about a straight hog. Now, nothing against Brees Hall coming back from the ACL, who we will not see tonight. All right, but at the end of the day, man, Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook. Now the Jets do have other running backs. They still do have Carter out of North Carolina. Okay, Michael Carter. He's definitely not Basura. You know what I mean? He ain't trash or nothing like that. But at the same time, he ain't Dalvin Cook, and he ain't Brees Hall neither. That's why they had to go. They had to go trade for Robinson last year after Brees Hall got hurt because they had to try to still keep that same momentum, and they couldn't do it with Carter, with Michael Carter. So at the end of the day, I'm very interested to see what Michael Carter does because if he don't show up and show out, man, then Dalvin gonna get that check. That's just how I feel.
I don't, I don't, I don't see why they wouldn't pick him up in the first place. If y'all feel like y'all
Man,
got
they got
Super Bowl
$27.5 million available. 27.5.
listen, but they acting like the Jets are projected to be a Super Bowl contender. Why wouldn't you go and get a running back like Dalvin Cook with a defense has to plan for him? That's the type of mindset you want to have. I don't care who I got at the receiver. I want to have mixed matches at every position. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And if I could get a running back to make you game plan for him, that's extra thoughts that you're putting into my team. So I could actually utilize him in many different ways. But I want a running back that they have the game plan for. I don't want a running back that they're
They
like,
just
oh, he's
have
gonna
one back there. You can't have one
yeah,
just to have one because you ain't gonna get
yeah.
nowhere.
You want somebody that got a game plan for.
hmm Now we know what's going on with Michael Carter over there and the battle he's got in the backfield. But what about Jerome Ford from Cincinnati that they got over there for the Browns? Now they got rid of my man, not Chubb, Kareem Hunt. You know what I mean? They got rid of Kareem Hunt and they got to replace him. Jerome Ford kind of got dinged up a couple weeks ago or a week ago in practice. We don't know if he's going to play tonight or tomorrow night, whichever. You know, we are within 24 hours of the game when we did record this. All right. But at the end of the day, man, listen. He got to get out there. I got to see what Jerome Ford got. That was a key pickup in the fifth round, and I honestly think that he is a running back that can actually do something in the NFL.
It's not, and plus it's always good to have a couple, at least two good running backs on your roster because that's the position is full contact with the running back. So
Hmm.
it can hurt anytime. So it's always good to have a good backup running back, just like a backup quarterback. Them the two positions that you really to have good solid backups in. There's nowhere else. You know what I mean? The quarterback, the running back.
Hey, it's key, dog. It's key. Just like that defensive line is key, man. And that's why I'm also very interested in seeing Sika, and I'm gonna try to pronounce this right, Sika Iaka, all right, out of Baylor that they just drafted, defensive tackle for the Browns. Yeah, that boy a beast against the run, man, and I really need to see him tonight. Just because of the fact that Browns were like one of the worst teams in the NFL against the run last year. So if I'm not really worried about him not being able to pass rush. I need to see him stop the run tonight. That's what I need to see. Or as a Browns fan, as someone who, if I'm gonna watch the Browns and I'm gonna say I'm trying to cheer for them, then that's what I would want to see.
Yeah. Shout out to my partner Roosevelt. That's his team. He's a diehard Brown fan. I dog I dog him every week because he put on all this Brown stuff up. So I dog him every week. But that's his team. So I'm evaluate them so I can tell them where they're gonna end up at. Probably where they end up at every year.
Man, look, man. You gotta feel you gotta have love for the Brownies, man. Especially if you're a Buckaroo, man. They've been in the bottom just like we've been in the bottom. Now, I'm not to say we've been where they've been at because we win Super Bowls. They don't. But at the end of the day, I would like to see success for
They
the
still
land up there in
they still they still got brown paper bags under their seat. They still got the brown paper bags under their seat.
Cleveland. That's
You
fact.
know, you go to the Brown Stadium, they still give you brown paper bags to put on your head, just in case.
Yep. Hold on, man.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Brown Stadium still come equipped with brown paper bags under their seat.
Yeah, dog.
I don't know.
I feel for him, but at the end of the day, man, it
They've
is
been at
what
the
it
bottom
is.
for a long time. They've been at the bottom for a long time.
Yes, sir. Since Jim Brown, they've been waiting for a chip since Jim Brown, man.
That's the curse of Jim Brown. Jim Brown, y'all ain't doing right. So
He had to get up
gotta
out of
get
there.
it right.
Yep, he kind of did you like Doug did the Bucks.
Gotta wait for that shit to break over, for that to break off.
Hmm.
You see the bird I got hanging in the back right there.
Oh
So,
yeah, man. I
I'm,
see
I'm,
you.
I'm, I'm kind of going with the Jets a little bit. Just,
That's that. Listen, man.
just,
I
just for,
I hate to bust your bubble, right? We ain't even gonna get into that yet because we gonna talk about them Jets. We got a whole season to talk about them Jets and what's going on, man. No, but we can't touch on it because we haven't touched on it yet, so we got to touch on it. Face, how do you feel about Sean Payton stepping down on Aaron Rodgers and on and his coach? All right, talking about last season last season was Nate Hackett's fault, not Russell Wilson. And then Aaron Rodgers saying something that I ain't heard since Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Will Smith said once upon a time, keep my wife's name out your mouth. And when he said that, he got up, walked up there, and slapped fire from somebody. Now, Aaron Rodgers just said, keep my coach name out your mouth. These people meet week 5, man. Week 5.
you got to understand something. Aaron Rodgers is going to New York with a chip on his shoulder. he felt like, for real, he felt like
He feel
Green
like,
Bay didn't give him the respect that he deserved. Because you know they went and drafted Love, and there was a lot of talk. They've been trying to get him out of Green Bay. So Aaron Rodgers really want to show people that he can still play football.
man, Aaron Rodgers
So
got
I
one
guess
Super Bowl. He ain't been to two.
I'm just saying, you
He
got
ain't
some
Brett
good.
Favre.
You got to think about it. You got some good quarterbacks that been on teams and they never make it because of the
Dog,
team sport.
are you
I'm
gonna
just
sit
saying,
here?
everybody that played the game ain't win a Super Bowl.
Man, hold up, man. Are you
Every,
gonna sit here and tell me that Green Bay, that he ain't had some mobs up there in Green Bay? He's had some straight
I ain't say
mobs
that.
for the last 7 years, 8 years. Talking, crying up there, crying the whole time. You got Devontae Adams, man. Okay, you got it. You got multiple running backs. They keep giving you those. Okay,
And
you
but
had
but
Randall Cobb at one time. All right,
okay, but look on the
they
other
keep
side of the
drafting your
ball.
offensive linemen. All right, you matter of fact,
Look
you
at
brought one of the offensive linemen over there with you to the Jets.
look at the other side of the ball.
And they handled the
Green Bay did
defense. That defense, they
Green Bay
drafted
did
two
top money.
corners. They drafted two corners in the top 2 rounds. All right, in 1 year, Zaire Alexander and then the other youngster that they got over there, man. They gave him, man. They drafted Zadarius Smith and they drafted, like, we can keep naming people they drafted. They put weapons out there. The problem is that Aaron Rodgers looks great until it come playoff time and he's out of that NFC bum. Okay, and I'm not calling the whole NFC bum, but I'm calling the NFC North a whole bunch of bums. Yeah, I'm putting it out there. NFC North been bums since Aaron Rodgers been there. All right, Minnesota been wishy washy. Okay, Chicago ain't been nothing. All right, they don't even exist. All right, we all know Aaron was in Green Bay, and we all know what Detroit's been. Detroit been the bottom of the bottom, the worst of the worst. So when you play against the worst teams in the NFL 6 times a year, 7 times a year, if you get an extra game in the playoffs, boy, you didn't got off. You done got off, man. You got 6 easy wins every year. The worst teams in the NFL is in your division. They've been there for a long time. I used to hold it against Brady when Brady had that going on in the AFC East. But at the end of the day, man, you know, Brady overcame after he played the bums. Brady took advantage of the bums and then went to the playoffs and raked everybody else. Can we say that about Aaron Rodgers?
I'm gonna just say this, right? Even though them teams are bum teams, they know you the best. So it ain't as easy to beat the people in your division. They know you the best. But he has been playing mediocre and trash teams, though. But it's like they know you intimately because you playing so many times, so many years. But at the same time, he really didn't have nobody to go through in his division. So, you know what I mean?
And all I got to say is, in the end, when it's all said and done, and at the end of this year, it's gonna come out whether or not Aaron Rodgers is who all y'all think he is. I don't think he is that guy. I have not thought he's that guy for a long time.
I'm gonna say this: if Aaron Rodgers just come and be efficient and don't try to be the superstar of the team, he got a good chance because he got a hell of a defense. He got all kind of weapons around him. He just have to come in and not do too much and play. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
If
got to
he
play.
does that, he got a good chance because anytime you got a defense like his defense, you get more opportunities with the ball. You don't get put back on the field on all different three and outs.
Hmm. So
So
hold up. So we know Aaron Rodgers got an opportunity to become greater than what he has already shown the league and what he's already shown the rest of the NFL. My question to you is, and this is my final question before we get into the picks real quick, because as you can see, technical issues, technical difficulties, the
technical
phone.
difficulty. It's technical difficulty.
You know what I mean? So since we haven't technical, there we go. We back at it. All right. So my last question to you, Face, is Who you like tonight, man? Do you like the Jets on money line? Do you like the Browns on money line? You like the 2.5? You want to give up them points? The over under 31 and a half. How you really feel about this game?
I really don't know how to feel about it because it's a preseason game. Like you said, we don't know who. Now, if it was a regular season game, I would take the Jets.
Hold up. To
But
all our viewers, first and foremost, I want to put this out there. All our picks throughout the preseason, okay, we're gonna give you quality picks, but it's just like every preseason. It's the preseason. All right. So don't expect the straight bolt deadbolts. It's the preseason. When the regular season come, last year I picked 83%. I will show you guys.
it's always, to me, you always want to pick the team with the most depth because that's what you're really going to be playing against. Like, you ain't playing against a starter, so I wouldn't even put that in your mind that you're going to be playing. You got to look at the talent that they got behind those starters. Browns may have more talent than the Jets behind the starters. You know what I mean? But I just like the Jets over the Browns because the Browns are the Cleveland Browns. That's like the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, man, look, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson. I expect him to come out and have a big game playing against the backups, this and that, and the third. Kellen Mond has not shown me what I wanted to see from him, and DTS is that's something new. We don't know what's gonna happen there. All right. Uh, so I gotta rock with you, man. I gotta take them points, man. I gotta take that 2.5. I gotta take that 2.5, and I gotta take it to the house.
I look at it like this: they should at least get off to a good start because
Mm-hmm.
you got to start the quarterback going against second and third string guys.
Yep.
And I don't think that they really gonna be throwing too many blitzes at them to try to confuse them or anything like that because it's the preseason and it's the second and third string players. So they're not really equipped to be throwing all these different blitzes at people like that because they are learning. So I feel like they should at least get off to a good start based on the fact that this guy has started regular season games. He know what it's like. It's just, I just took the Jets because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm definitely taking the 2.5 with the Jets. Wrestling with the over under because if you just look at the Jets over under, it's like 16 points. So which is over whatever the over under is for the whole game. If you split it in half, they would win. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not messing with the over under. Preseason game is so hard to tell. You don't know what's going to happen out there. The under's usually a deadbolt now. Okay, I do want to let everybody know, Don, most of the time, preseason games, you can take that under and feel very comfortable with it because it's going to be a lot of running on the ball and this and that and the third. But
The 31 points though,
31
that's
and a
still
half, that's a lot.
that's really it ain't. But
Man,
guess what?
that's two touchdowns.
That's
That's two
that's a
touchdowns and
touchdown.
that's two
That's a
touchdowns
touchdown
and two field goals.
every quarter and a field goal or two field goals. So I'm saying either team they score one touchdown a quarter and two field goals. I don't know. I don't know. But you like you say, the league now is just is tricky because it's so pass friendly. Yeah, you feel me?
Oh no,
I, it's,
I dig it.
I
I
think
dig
they're
it.
doing that on purpose to make the scores be able to go up because it's
Yeah,
more
because
entertaining.
people like points, man. People like points.
Exactly, it's more
That's
entertaining.
why they get rid of the hand check in the NBA. That's why in the NFL you can't hit that wide receiver past 5 yards, and it's been like that since Night Train Lane was hitting with that. You know what I
You
mean?
gotta, and you gotta pick the shot. You can't fall on the quarterback. How the fuck am I gonna tackle this man and don't fall on him?
Exactly. That
Then
part.
I gotta wait for certain things. Man, they make it hard for a defender. If I was a defender in the NFL right now, I I wouldn't like it. I'm used to running lot, speed
See
out
that
water,
water?
He's
Yeah.
headhunter.
John
You
Lynch.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Dog.
it's so
Dog.
watered down.
Brian.
This junk so watered down, man.
What is it? Westbrook. You know what I mean? No, Brian Dawkins. I'm sorry. Brian Westbrook was the running back for the Eagles. Brian Dawkins. Yeah. But all right, y'all. So y'all got your picks. Y'all got a quick little run around, see what's going on, and you got a reaction to what's been going on with Aaron Rodgers and the beef with Sean Payton, man. Which stay tuned for that. All right, that's week 5. Broncos, Jets. Y'all be ready, man. Okay, because
That's gonna be
it's
a
gonna be a
fun one
game.
right there.
It's gonna be a dog fight, man. It's gonna be a dog fight. Don't matter if KJ Hamler hurt. Don't matter if Tim Patrick hurt. All right, it's gonna be a dog fight. That different defense biting, what? But anyway, man, this your boy Trey. That's my homeboy Face, and we gonna holler
Hey,
at y'all, man.
hey.